Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you've had a nice week, and sorry we've gotten a little bit off track, I guess, but we're fine. And so I've already posted your quiz, and so this week's assignments will be due next Sunday as usual. You'll have a quiz and a DB, and so the chapter 4 is about descriptive methods, and this chapter talks about a lot of methods. This is Peggy Sue here. Talks about a lot of methods that are very, very common in the behavioral sciences, and particularly they're very common with the research that we do at Troy University. This type of research is easy, that you can do it without any type of fancy equipment or any, a big lab or anything like that. The first one is observational methods, and this one is particularly good even with animals. I think I mentioned I teach that comparative psychology class, and so one of the best ways is to observe animals. And so I'm observing my chickens right here, right now. But also you could use observational methods to study children's behaviors or just a lot of different things. But there are some issues with naturalistic observation. It's really good in some cases because you are, seeing whatever it is you're studying in its natural habitat. But it also lacks a lot of the controls that the other more experimental designs do. So it's very difficult, it's really impossible to have cause and effect in naturalistic observation. Another type of method is the qualitative method, and it has, for example, case studies. And case studies are done, when there's like only a very small group of people, or maybe just one person who has a particular affliction, say. Maybe you've heard of Phineas Gage. Phineas Gage was this individual who had a railroad spike actually driven through his head, and he survived. And so, but he had really marked behavioral changes after that happened. And so, obviously, that's very rare that happens, that the railroad spike gets driven through a person's head and they survive. So that would be a case study. You hear a lot about Freud, and Freud has had such an impact on the field of psychology. But really, one of the criticisms of Freud's work is that it was based on case studies. It was a small sample of women in the Victorian era, and very sexually repressed era, and so they were having conversion disorders. And so it's like, he's made this whole theory, and is it really applicable to a lot larger sample? And that's kind of what the problem is. So anyway, that would be an example of a case study. Field studies, where you can go out and actually become part of a group. When I was in graduate school working on my PhD, we had a project where we got involved, and we kind of were participant observers, and the group of people that I studied was the basket weavers in the Charleston marketplace, and they have a really interesting culture, gullah culture, and so I kind of participated with that and did some research on that. But the last method that's talked about in your chapter is survey methods, and for our undergraduates at Troy on our campus, there's most of the research that's done is survey research. You can write a survey. It's quick, it's easy. You can get a lot of participants in a short amount of time, and so there are certain advantages to surveys, but then there are also some disadvantages as well. All the methods, research methods that we'll be studying, pretty much, they all are good in some cases, but not so good in other cases, and that's where you as a researcher get to decide what's the best method to collect the type of data to be able to answer the questions that I want to answer. So anyway, that's what Chapter 4 is about, and so hopefully you've been reading it, and the quiz is already posted, so take that whenever you get ready. It's already out there, and it'll be out there all week. It's due next Sunday, and then next week we will have our midterm exam, and so you'll have a whole week to take that. So next week there'll just be the midterm exam. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to call me and or email me, I guess, and send me your phone number. I'm sometimes kind of hard to catch as far as being here or being available. And so if we can just set up a time together where it's convenient for you to talk and also for me, that'll work out great, and I'll be enjoy talking with you. I've already talked to several of you on the phone, and so well, I hope you're enjoying this material so far. This is a really interesting topic, and as I've said before, it's really the basis of the field of psychology, is being able to do research. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye-bye.